I want to go back and talk about the children. Wow. When we decided we were going to separate and we were going, because I was just so sure that whatever we had already done, though we did our best to keep it behind closed doors, I know they were affected by it. They were affected by the way I was affected by it. They were affected by the tension in the house. They were affected by where's daddy, and I say I don't know. I'm supposed to know where daddy is at all times, right? You know, I'm laughing.
7 o'clock. Where's your husband?
Yeah, right. And even though there was no infidelity, you know, we have to understand that that is not the only issue that we can have. And sometimes men will say, "Well, I'm not cheating on her. I'm not beating her. So why do we need to go to counseling?" Men. That is dumb. Because those are not the only issues you can have. Our issues were emotional and they were internal. And as much as men are told not to behave emotionally, you are just as much emotional beings as we are. Yeah. It's just the way we express it is different. And so the other point that I want to make is we could have separated as adults, as many of us do. Both of us were married prior. Both of us got married very young, had a child very young. When we met each other, he had a son and I had a daughter. We fell in love. It was real love. It was all those things, but we still hadn't worked out whatever we hadn't worked out in the first marriage. Yeah. So guess what? If you just quit,
bag lady,
you gonna hurt your back.
We just carried our bags.
Carrying all them bags like that. All the stuff that he had, all the stuff that I had, all the things we brought from childhood, all of the trauma that we had growing up as teens and tweens, and then into adulthood, all of the mixed messages and all of those things all clumped up in there. Because see, now we grown. He said, I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. We know that the way we do things is right because we do it.
That's just the way I am.
That's foolishness. Okay? And if you need some proof, I'm going to take you to the word. I believe it's in Proverbs 14. It says that there is a way that seemeth right unto man, but that the end of that way is destruction. The end is destruction. No one can have all the right answers. No one can make all the decisions and be correct because we all do it through whatever lens we were brought up with. And so what I wanted to say is this: whether we separated or not, if we hadn't learned how to communicate better, our children were still going to suffer.
Yeah.
They would have just suffered in 2 houses instead of 1.
Real talk.
And boy, that punches me in the gut because my kids have stories of unpleasant things that they have heard, the way that they have felt in our household. And we had to own that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had to fix that.
Yeah, we had to. It led us to that point where we had to just learn how to exist and be each other's, we're still parents and be each other's support system because we're still raising these children. We still love them. We still care for them. Yeah, we put them through a lot, but we don't want to keep putting them through, having to pick mommy's side or pick daddy's side
or try to make us feel better when they know something's wrong. Because like I said, even though there's no infidelity or he's not beating on me or I'm not beating on him. I'm delivered. I have to say that because sometimes women are the ones who do the swinging. And that's just honest. That's right. And that's even more difficult for a man to confess and talk about. Yeah. But we did premarital counseling. When we got to the point of separation, we decided together, yes, we're going to go to counseling. And at first it was for the sake of the children. And then we decided we're just going to go. And then Vince decided, I want to go, even if I don't get you back. I want to go for myself because he started to, I think, see himself.
Yeah.
And he was like, why am I doing the things that I do? because we're very affectionate, and we always were very affectionate. It's just that when that 2% of the time came, there was such a stark change. And so how could the children not notice what was going on? And sometimes we do ourselves and our kids a disservice pretending like they cannot see.
Yeah, the door's closed. They can't hear us.
They can't hear us. They have eyes.
You know,
Mama didn't cook again
voice.
tonight. When we going to McDonald's, Daddy didn't come home. Is he sleeping on the couch? Did you see Dad sleeping on the couch?
I'm sleeping out of the bedroom.
Right. All those things send messages. And the family and marriage are God's institution.
Yeah.
Marriage is not, and I heard someone say, Siobhan Smith, I love her. I don't know if you guys know her, but if you don't, look her up. She's a really great, actually she's a pastor, co-pastor now in New Jersey. And she shared something a couple of days ago about how marriage is not about love. You never hear God say he put Adam and Eve together for love. Yes, it's not good for man to be alone, but we were put together for a purpose. The purpose was to produce, reproduce, multiply, to build God's kingdom. And how can we do that if we are the threefold cord and he's got one end and I've got another end of the threefold cord? God is right there with us because he'll never leave us or forsake us. And he's pulling and ripping at his end, and I'm pulling and ripping at my end, trying to get my way. We really are tearing apart our own marriage. So when the word says, let no man, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder, that means me and him. Because most of the time, it is the couple that destroys the marriage.
Yeah, and the what is the institution of marriage. But in this case, we decided that we're going to take that vow to marry each other. So now we are the what. You know, it's not so much that God put only two people together, like she said before. You know, we both been married before. So we took a vow then, and things did not work out. And here we are again, taking this vow to love each other to death do us part and all that good stuff like that. And what it was an option to
we
to
lied.
say that. So what God's put together, he's honoring the institution of marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Not who. Very
Not
good.
who. Thank you. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Very good. I love that. I love that because what we do sometimes, like last week, babe, you said maybe I'm just not the one for this marriage. I was like, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who is the one? Who is the one for the
Tap
marriage?
out. What? Negro?
Oh, no, don't tap out, okay?
Nope.
But sometimes we come up with the excuse, well, maybe we try to backtrack and we try to unravel the vows that we took. Well, maybe a girl, I should have known when such and such and such. Well, you did know, but you were so in love, or you made the exchange. Whatever you were getting that you didn't like so much, you were getting enough of what you did like that you would compromise for it.
Well.
Okay, and then when you started to see more of what you didn't like, it's like, well, maybe she ain't the right one.
You said she was getting more of what she did like. So.
Listen, when you decide you're gonna get with someone, it's not that you didn't see what was in them before.
Right.
It's just that you saw more of what you wanted. Because it was there. Well, he wasn't like this when we got together. Yes, he was. Unless you marry somebody overnight. You spend enough time around each other. One of the things that I said to my husband when we were dating is the true test of how much you love me is going to be when you're angry with me.
Wow.
It wasn't all flowers when I was looking good and we were going out and we were hanging and we were going to the beach and taking trips and doing all these things that made our flesh feel good, our five senses feel good, made us feel goosebumpy and emotional and all of that. That's fine. But when I tick you off, when I push your button, can you respect me?
Wow.
Can you still speak to me with honor and dignity? And can I do that?
Yeah.
And am I going to get on the phone and tell my girlfriends he ain't nothing and he's this and he's that and I can't stand him and blah, blah, blah? Am I going to talk him down? Or am I going to say, girl, I don't know. And if you got the right kind of girlfriend, you shouldn't be telling everybody your business. But if there is a person you can confide in, a person that you can confide in that you know what you tell them is going to stay there.
Yeah.
For me, it had to be another woman with a Christian heart who was going to pray for us, who wasn't just going to listen to me squabble and complain, who was going to say, okay, girl, cry, get it out, and then get it together. The best advice that I ever got was from one of our mentors, Ernestine Vines. And she called me to talk to me one day, but then I told her what was going on, and I was like, I was offended because of something he had said to me, and she said the most profound thing. She said, offense is a choice. Whoop!
Wow.
She burnt my bread with that one. She said, offense is a choice. It changed my whole focus. We are sometimes setting up in our minds, and I'm going to bring it in, babe. Sometimes we set it up in our minds what we will do, what we won't do, what I'm not going to take, and what you're not going to tell me.
You draw the line.
We draw a line in the sand. And it's like, how are we in the same sandbox and drawing lines? We need to build a castle, not draw the line.